parents' worst nightmare. Mariano Janin lost his 14-year-old daughter, Mia, to suicide in March of last year.
Now, Mariano believes the night before her death, Mia was being bullied online. However, as social media firms aren't required to hand over data by law, Mariano is still searching for answers as to what happened.
Yeah, Mariano joins us now alongside Andy Burrows, Head of Child Safety Online Policy at the NSPCC. Good morning to both of you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll come to you in a minute, Andy. Thank you for joining us. Mariano, you obviously lost your daughter to suicide last year. Absolutely awful. Every parent's nightmare. Tell me a little bit about Mia so we can understand what she was like. What were her friends like? What was she like as a person?
Well, Mia was very bubbly. It happened the first day after the second lockdown, first day after school. She was, in a way, happy. She was starting drama again, cheerleading again, school again. She was invited for a nice holidays in Greece with one of her best friends, Evie. And I think she has I believe she has a really bad day at school, first day. And then by social media, because she was until late night online. But the problem is we need to access to the phone. It's more than...
Just to know.
Yes.
So, and this is the crux of the issue. So you believe she might have been bullied. You have no idea who that could be, but you need access to Mia's phone. And why is that so hard? You haven't been able to get access to it. That's correct.
Apparently now the phone is open, but I did it for more than 1 year and almost a half. I didn't get any information. So we need also the social media places like TikTok, Insta, Snapchat, YOLO, to share the information.
Sure. So what's happening with Mia's case currently as it stands at the moment?
At the moment, we are in the inquest process. So we have a hearing in September, waiting to see what the Metropolitan Police can find on the phone. And we need access also to all these platforms.
Yeah.
But it's not so easy.
No.
What's this toll been like on you? This has been a year dragging out now. How have you been?
Toll is after my daughter passed away, 4 months after my wife suddenly passed away as well. She couldn't cope with the situation, and at the moment it's just me and my son. And it's hard every day, you know.
So you lost the two women in your life. I can't believe this.
I'm so sorry, man.
So sorry about this.
You're doing so well by just getting up every day and just keeping up the fight. Andy, let's bring you in. Explain the current state of the law at the moment, and I know that the online safety bill should have gone through today, and Mariano's the situation he finds himself in with that as the kind of the backdrop. Explain what his rights are and what you want to change.
So right now, the processes are deeply imperfect and they're not centred as they should be around too many families like Mariano that are having to deal with this unimaginable heartbreak. So there is a process whereby we're generally talking about US-based companies here. So there's a legal process that kicks in whereby then the companies have to then meet these legal requests for data. But even though this process has actually been streamlined, it takes many, many months at best. It's then at the mercy of lawyers in these big tech companies as to what they'll provide, in what format they'll provide. And unfortunately, we know that for too many of the tech companies, the onus here isn't on giving parents and families the answers that they need and deserve. It's then thinking about their reputations. How will this data be presented? How might this play out in an inquest? And unfortunately, this is with an eye to thinking about legislation, thinking about reputation, rather than where it should be, which is families.
Yeah.
So when is this all going to be resolved then? When is this legislation going to be in place? Is it when we've got a new Prime Minister? What's going to happen now?
Yeah, so this bill is now on hold. This would give parents a legal right to data, but you know, kind of much more broadly, it would also then place legal responsibilities on social networks to think about the harms that children can face using their services, and then to have to address them, to have to make sure that their sites are fundamentally safe. So today, we should have seen this legislation being back in the House of Commons, clearing the House of Commons, and then on its way to becoming law in the next few months. It is now on hold. We're waiting to see, with a new Prime Minister coming into Downing Street, whether then we're just looking at a delay of several months or whether we're looking at the bill being diluted or even dropped.
Because you look at it on paper, this seems like a no-brainer. So where's the pushback coming from?
So we've seen this really then become a focus in the leadership election. We're now seeing several of the leadership contenders saying that they want to call in the legislation and review this. There's concerns about free speech. What we at the NSPCC would say is that, you know, we are seeing a toll of harm borne by children and families every single day because social networks have sat on their hands when it comes to children's safety.
Right,
this
and
is
free
urgent.
speech is a mile away from that. This is worlds away from what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about harm that is taking place every single day. And the really important thing is this is preventable harm. We should not be fatalistic about this. This is harm that we can prevent if the tech companies have clear legal responsibilities to protect children and families. And right now, we can see that that's simply... It's not something they will do for themselves.
Yeah. What message would you send to MPs that are watching this and thinking about this right now?
So we've written to all of the leadership contenders with a very clear message that they should commit to backing this bill. They should bring this back in September without delay, pass the legislation in full. Because even if we're just looking at the delay of a few months, that is going to be more and more children coming to harm online. That's more children being abused. That's more children being bullied online. And, you know, with every week that we are seeing this legislation being delayed, that's more children coming to harm. It's more families who are going to have to go through this unimaginable harm that Mariano is going through.
Mariano, I can see you're an absolute broken over this. I can really see it. What would it mean to you if you could get hold of that phone and just see what was on the phone and why she committed suicide?
In a way, I need to get closure. So I need to find what's happened with Mia. And I want to know the truth. And then I would like to get some justice, if I can.
Yeah.
Has the school helped at all?
Well, the relation with the school was very poor. Actually, non-existent after Mia passed away. We got support from friends, from Rethink, that's an organization that helps us with the therapy, but not from the school.
And in terms of, just so we're clear, can the police get access to this? So you know, legally, where are we with that, Andy?
So police and then also coroners can submit this legal request, but they find themselves, you know, in this process whereby then it becomes a real slog. So, you know, even in the cases where this moves quite quickly, we're talking about many, many months, but at worst, we're talking about potentially years. And, you know, I've seen some of the social media companies really use tactics of delaying giving data, trying to present data at the last minute, data that then, you know, you could be talking about reams and reams of binders that are very difficult to go through. So, unfortunately, this is all tactics. This is about reputation for these companies, not about parents and families that just want these answers.
Mia's school, JFS school, Dr David Moody, the head teacher, said, like the family, the school is waiting for the findings of the external investigations to be published. We hope the publication will be as soon as possible. Mariano, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Really appreciate you coming in and chatting to us. Thank you. Andy, thanks so much.
Thank you.
If you're seeking any support following your suicide, details, of course, can be found on our website.
We'll be